My name is Judith Burnham. I have an autoimmune disease named MG, which stands for myasthenia gravis, and that means grave weakening of the muscles. So what happens is that the antibodies destroy the communication between the muscles and the nerves, resulting in weakness of voluntary muscles. I get monthly infusions and I take immune suppressants. In the past, I had a period during my disease process that I was very isolated and did not go out pretty much for 2 years because I was not able to physically do anything. I mean, I couldn't even talk. I live with the memory of being hospitalized many times for difficulty breathing, and also the memory of the horrifying experience of being intubated in the ICU. So this is an experience I strive to avoid. So that was always in mind during my time that I needed to be isolated and away from people, that there was no way I was going to expose myself to COVID and have to, replay this horrifying experience that I had. At first, I felt very scared because even before the pandemic, I needed to be very careful in terms of where I went and who I was near. When I started lockdown, I would say for about a week or 2 weeks, I felt very disoriented. My life was just so different than it had been. I hardly ever left my house in the beginning. I never went out in my car at all. I don't think I drove my car for months because I remember the feeling of finally getting in my car and feeling the freedom of doing that. I did take daily walks, though. At first, I tried to get deliveries, but it was very, very difficult. So I spoke to somebody who told me about Brookline Mutual Aid, and they had volunteer shoppers who would take a shopping list from you and do your shopping and bring it to your home. Very much so. The most concerning symptom for me of MG is weakening of the diaphragm, which is the major muscle that helps you to breathe. The combination of a suppressed immune system and a disease that affects my ability to breathe resulted in me having to be extra cautious about going outside. I was much stricter, what I would do and what I wouldn't do than anyone else I really personally know. After I got over the initial fear and disorientation, I actually began to really appreciate how much I could do during this time. It was like those years that I could not do anything was almost a rehearsal for the lockdown, and the lockdown was much more enjoyable to me than the time that I was isolated and could not do anything. So I was very grateful for that and used my time very wisely to have fun and do interesting activities in my home or nearby. I knew that if I got COVID, I would be very gravely ill pre-pandemic. Even if I got a cold or a slight virus, usually I would have to go to the ER or be hospitalized because it would activate my MG. So I knew that I would be very sick, maybe be on a respirator if I did get COVID. So I tried very hard, not to be in that predicament again. I got the Moderna vaccine. I was very fortunate to be able to get an appointment before it got very hard to do so. Getting the actual vaccination did not hurt, but that night it was very, very painful. My arm, very painful. And probably, I would say, for about 36 to 48 hours, I had an extremely sore arm. That was only with the first one. The second vaccination, a doctor gave me, put it in a different place in my arm, and it was a mild discomfort. I felt very, very relieved. Before I had the vaccination, I realized afterwards that it was like when I was outside and anyone came close to me, it would feel to me like I was in fatal danger, like my life, could end here. And then after having even the first vaccination, I didn't feel that pending sense of danger always surrounding me, a matter of life or death. Oh, absolutely. I did lots and lots of research. I talked to several doctors before getting the vaccine, and all of them advised me to do so, that it was very safe, and it allows you to get back to some semblance of your pre-COVID life. Although I'm still very cautious because I have heard personally several cases where people are vaccinated and still get COVID.